I'm feeling like another teardown, and we're going to go to apple.com this time. I'm logged into Atarim, I'm on the websites tab, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put in the address and hit add site. Teardowns are where I assess the look and feel of the website. Do I like it? Is it working for me? The image, the layout, the header, the menu, items like that. When you're on the browse, you can actually click items or headers or anything on the page and it will take you somewhere else. So you're not restricted to just the home page. If I go to comment, I can start putting comment in. But did you know down here, we've got the share button as well in Atarim where I can invite other people like you, maybe the logo designer, the person who collates the images or who sorts out the hyperlinks or anything like that, or even stakeholders. I can put down tasks. They can put down tasks, we can communicate with each other. It's all about website collaboration at its finest. So let's look at the Apple website. And I have to say that, you know, from an Apple website point of view, and I'm not going to be biased here, okay, I do like the look of this. I think the menu works. You know, there's no mega menu appearing. I like it's clean. It's got lots of items on there, but it works really well. And then we have this big hero banner, and I think the fonts... And even though you have a bit of a blue colour on black, it works. The brightness is fine. It's not like a dark, dingy navy blue or anything like that. It works. And this image, it's popping. There's something about how they've got the right colour there, right? And it's just popping. You could argue, well, what if that was more of a bluey colour so it blended a little bit more in here with the subheaders or the buttons we have here? Because we've got lots of colours going on. So I am possibly going to make a comment and say, could we change this? So let's click it. Can we change the button text to be a similar purple shade? Now, if I want, I could assign this to other people. So if you were now part of my collaboration group, your name would be on there and I could add you onto it so you're notified of it. We could say that this one is currently under review because it's not completed yet, and we'll say this is a medium priority. I'm now going to hit create task. Now that task is over on the right hand side. I can revisit it. Someone else could literally come over here and go, what are you talking about? Or maybe they might say, well, no, we're going to leave it blue because every time we change the image, do you want us to change the color of the buttons again and again and again? But they could do that. And I could then respond and add in another comment. But for now, we'll leave it like that. We're going to say change the button text. Let's scroll down. I like the spacing. That is good spacing. There's breathing space going on there. We've got the wording, the subheader. Again, the blue button. Now, all of a sudden, I'm going to go, you know what? I was a bit too hasty on that, wasn't I? That comment now is not needed. Leave it blue. Now I can see the consistency. So let's go back into that task. And I'm now going to say ignore this, okay? And I'm going to go over to the status of the task and I'm saying make this complete, all right? And that's it. So now we have another comment added into that so you can see the chain of events and it's now gone green because it is complete. So if someone was managing their tasks or they were going to go, right, what are we going to do on this website after the Imran teardown of our apple.com website, how dare he? They don't need to worry about that. It's already done. Let's just scroll down again. I like the image. There is one thing that is slightly jumping out at me, and I'm just going to double check the brightness on there. This little white bar here. I feel like they need to get rid of that. I get why they've got it a little bit because they're trying to add a bit of padding before you hit the next black section. However, it jars me a little bit because you've got the hand and then you just gone, whoop, we've just sliced it. So I'm going to say, can we get rid of that padding? So let's add in a comment. I've made a comment there. I'm not going to assign it or give it any status or how urgent it is, just to get over the idea of how this works. So create task, that will now appear on the right hand side as well. By the way, you can see who made the comment as well over here. So that's pretty good if you've got multiple people working on it. Let's now just scroll down to this next section. The watch, Series 8. Yeah, I mean, look, can you see here what I mean, though? We were missing some consistency. However, that being said, there's this little white bar over here for this section. And down here, we have like a separate section going on. There's a little bit of a white bar there, or a grey bar. You kind of excuse that because the watch now is routed to the bottom of that section. So it works. So I'm wondering, why did they not reflect that over here? I'm just going to get rid of this here just to check. Yeah, and it's definitely there. Right, let's just scroll down. We have these two wonderful sections over here, which look pretty good. Again, though, we now have that slice effect. Now, you can excuse it here because we have a grid formation. You know, a 2x2 in a way. 2 columns and you got 2 more below, you know. So you can excuse that because we have spacing it. It just didn't work above. Is this great for consistency? I think it looks good. I mean, it would be nice, I think, if they didn't kind of have this little subheader over here. Because I'm finding that there's a slight distortion. You could almost say, could this watch be better higher up? Could you maybe bring this down a little bit? Because we have got a slight differentiation there in the way it looks. But, you know, again, I could say, you know, it's easy to... I mean, look, by the way, it's not just 2x2. It's more than that. The fitness, the items are working. The images are sharp. Yeah, you know what? I'm probably going to say there's no point getting stuck up about this extra line here. This is like 4 rows. This is 5 rows. Because you have variation all the way through, basically going like that. So trying to get consistency could be a little bit difficult. But this works really well. We then have the slider below. So far, we've not really made many comments, surprisingly, right? In a weird way. This slider is okay. I'm just going to hit the browse for now and just check it's all right. Can I slide? Now, I can't slide back and forth. I can only use the navigation items over here. I'm pretty sure if I was on an iPad or something else or a touch device, I could do that. But yeah, the slider is fine. The buttons look okay. The spacing is good. We've got this nice shaded out effect or watered down, transparent, opacity faded out effect going on the left and right, which is pretty good. Now here we get to a bit which I'm really not feeling at the moment. So if I just scroll down, we get the footer. We get the footer, and the footer font, I mean, I'm going to leave a comment and say, is this footer too small? From an accessibility point of view, is that too small? Because I don't see any buttons anywhere that allow me to increase the font. So I'm going to say, do the font sizes need to be reviewed? But does the font need to be between 12 to 14 pixels? Now, you can obviously tell me the problem here in that we've got so many items here. And maybe have they got too many items? Do they all have to be visible? That is a question that maybe someone else who's collaborating with you on this website might want to make a comment. Now, as far as it goes at the bottom, that's all I'm going to say about that. But this does grate me. As a home page, do I really need to see all of this information? And there's going to be someone out there who's going to shout at the screen and say, yes, we do. I'm not entirely convinced. I've made a comment. That does not mean it is right or wrong. There may be other people that are going to review this and say, shut up, that's where it goes, we've decided that and the legal obligation and we are happy with it. But at least you're raising the question. How many times have you had a client or someone make a comment about a website and you're not too sure about, well, which bit are they referring to? And if you now want to reply to this comment, let me just bring back the pane. You could obviously click it if you want. And you might now put the comment in to say there is a basis for it, there's a reason for it. You might even want to attach some further documents that explain why it needs to be there. So you're all on the same page. I'm not going to get lost with lots of WhatsApp messages and emails flying around everywhere. Now, on the basis of it, from a teardown point of view, this homepage for me was pretty damn good. However, how does it look on a mobile? So if I scroll down here, I'm now going to switch this to be the mobile view. Well, it still looks pretty good. Let's just put the browse on and activate the menu. That was quite lovely. I like the slide down effect. You got the search bar at the top. That is clean. It's following the same kind of items we had on the desktop. This looks good. I mean, we scroll down. I mean, again, look. I mean, hopefully they will get rid of that for the desktop and the mobile. But I might want to clarify that. So I might go back into the task and say, do it for all devices, okay? Get rid of that bottom bit down there. We go down, go down, go down. This is good. I mean, even the slider, this is good. They've resized it to work. If they hadn't, I would have made a comment there. But again, we got the fade out on the left and right. So far, so good. Well done, Apple. But look at this. I mean, come on, are you telling... I mean, I'm really not feeling this at all. The font is super small, so accessibility, not good. Do I really need to read all that before I get to this? And then when you look at what they've done here, look at this, right? If that is okay for the mobile version, why can't we replicate that for the desktop? So you know what? Let's go back to the desktop version. Can we replicate the mobile where we have accordions, right? So I've added in a comment after my other comment, and it's now for someone to review and come back to me, and they'll either okay it or disagree with it. But let's not stop there. Let's go over to another one of the pages on the website. Let's go to the iPhone one there. So I'm on Browse. When I click it, it's going to take me over there. Now, if you're eagle-eyed, you'll notice that there's no tasks, because this is on this page. But if we go to all pages, that shows you all the tasks for the entire website. So let's just stay on this page for now. The menu header items over there is completely fine. I really do like this that they have at the top here. You know, like I love this little effect here where you can pick the phone. The types or models. I think that's really good. I do wonder though about the size of the text here from an accessibility point of view. I do feel it is quite small, so I'm just going to make a comment here again. On a previous page, I actually said 12 to 14 pixel. I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to leave it open to say review it. So hopefully there might be someone else who might be the head person in terms of reviewing all of that. Let's just close that down there. The grey there, yeah, that's okay. It's a bit faint again from an accessibility point of view. I do like that gradient effect over there. You know, again, the images work. I mean, let me just put this on full screen just so we can see it a little bit better. That's all working okay. We do have that, you know, the little separator where the wrists are separated there. But remember what I said before, on the homepage, it didn't work for me because it just jarred it. Here, you can get away with it because you have like image after image after image. So it all depends on how you're using those images. That works for me pretty well. And this image is very different in structure to the other images above. They're very geometric. This is now a rounded border. So I'm just saying add some top margin of 100 pixel away from the previous section. Look, you're probably watching this and going, get over it, dude. It's totally fine. But I'm just trying to show you how we can add comments in and if we want to review them. And look, this is super cool. I could have made a comment on the individual items here. I could have done it on the phone. I could have done it on the buttons or the subheaders. Now, what we have over here is a nice feature table. I think this is really, really good. I mean, when it comes to feature tables, this is brilliant. This is good as well. You got your buttons. I was about to say the spacing is great, but now I'm not sure. We got a big gap there. I'm saying make the padding above and below that header equal, but actually match it to the bottom padding. So we'll create that task. We'll scroll down. These headers look okay. The font is fine, you know, nice and clear and easy to read. This is a nice structure. It's almost like this structure I feel works better than what we've seen on previous websites where the gaps between the columns and the rows was much tighter. This almost feels like it's double in terms of width. And the height of these greys in between. And I'm liking this. The images are fine. The images here are really good. The wording is clear, easy to read. I mean, look, again here, I'm going to probably say you need to make this the same again. Make the top padding match the bottom padding. We're going to create that one in as well. I mean, okay, look, now, so I've just made a comment about the spacing here. I like that. It breathes, it's easy to see. It doesn't feel like the images are like blurred or merged in. Then down here, we go back to the small. So there's a little bit of inconsistency going on here. So I'm now going to make a comment on this over here. Can we make the gaps 20 pixels between the rows and columns? Because it does start to feel cramped. So we've got this little bit of inconsistency creeping in. Consistency is massively, massively important when you're making a website, in my opinion. You've got a big gap here and a small gap here. I feel like just make it consistent because you've done it above, do it below as well. Did you have different people working on the website? There's a bit of a gap going on here, right? We're getting a lot more comments on this page than the other one. I'm going to say again over here to make the top padding match the bottom padding. This is good with the nice sharp icons. I like the 3D effect. Look. I could go on and on and on about the consistency of the columns and the rows, right? But again, we now go to a slightly different one here. Make it consistent. This is good. Nice, clear. The colors over here, it's easy to read. This is all working really, really well. But then we get this same issue we had before, and we've already made the comment before. It'll be interesting to see where they go with that, and do they change it? And we've already made the comment about the footer as well. We could, if we want, quickly check how this looks on the mobile. Let's just scroll all the way to the top. It still works well. Yep, the images are working well. How does it work when you start to get below? Yep, okay. A lot of the issues we had before with the gaps and all that aren't so much of an issue now. I mean, this is a little bit of a weird one now, because before we had 4 phones on show. Now we've only got 2. So right, okay, then we get the other 2. So is this easy to look at? Would it be better not to have like a slider so you can slide back and forth maybe? Because right now I've got to go here and then go all the way back to the top. So I'm going to make a comment and say maybe just have a slider so you can go like that, so you can see all 4 very quickly. Otherwise, you're going up and down quite a lot when you start to do comparisons. Again, that's just my opinion. And after that, we get the images. I mean, obviously, the consistency here is actually fine. It's okay. But it's when you had it on the desktop, we had different columns and rows and gaps like that. So if we just go back over here to the right-hand side, you can now see that we have 7 tasks on this page, but we have a total of 11 across the website. And if I was to click on any one of these from, say if I clicked on this one here, and that's how quick and easy it is. I hope you enjoy the teardown of Apple.com. I'd love to see your comments, whether you agree or disagree or have a different opinion about any of the items or the website if you go and look yourself. Atarim is free to use. To collaborate, you can do it for free, so go get going with it. Until next time, we'll see you.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat.